You know, in baseball, one of the hardest things to hit, most beautiful things to watch, is a good knuckleball, especially if it's executed correctly. And so it is with animating still photos in your productions. It's an effective technique, and when it's executed correctly, it can help your productions hit one out of the park. So let's play ball. We're cutting class. Still images can do so much more than sit all by their lonesome in a slideshow. Now granted, they are one of the best solutions available in some situations. Now although the process of moving around images has been done for ages, the documentary films of Ken Burns, like 1994's Baseball, are the ones that are most known for this technique. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of ways to make pictures move, and we're going to start by using this picture here of the 1914 Boston Red Sox. It's going to work well for us because one, it's larger than our 720 by 480 workspace, and two, it just has this cool nostalgic look, and it's really just asking to be moved. So we're going to start by panning across it and focus in on a young rookie by the name of George Herman Ruth. You may have heard of him, he's also known as the Babe. Alright, let's import this image and get it shaken. We're working here in Final Cut Pro because it's a good fit for my workflow here at Juice. How you move a pic will vary depending on what editing app you're using, but really the principles are all quite the same, and we're going to do it today by using keyframes. Now if you find yourself asking the question, what's a keyframe, you may want to check out this film from our educational archives.
What's a keyframe?
Is it an ornate display for your precious heirloom skeleton keys?
No, silly. It's an animation term.
Animation? Wow!
It refers to the essential drawings that define the start and end of any smooth transition. In the advanced technological world of video editing, it refers to the marked frames at the beginning and end of the change in any property of the video image.
The good thing about using a large image like this is I can move the picture around and reveal certain portions while keeping other parts hidden. And I can do this without upscaling it, which is going to cause some nasty looking artifacts and jaggies. Alrighty, after placing my still into my timeline and timing it to length, I'm going to align my playhead with the first frame of my footage. Having my image selected, I'll go into its motion controls. Here I want to scale and position how I want it to look at the beginning. Next, I'm going to set a keyframe for its position, clicking on the little keyframe button, and we can see that the first keyframe is now set. Now let's tell this picture where to go. Advance the playhead towards the end of the image in the timeline, and we're going to move the image to end its movement right on the Babe. Notice that because we'd already set a keyframe, the editing app sets a new keyframe to mark the change. Let's take a look. Simple, basic motion, but it's kind of out of whack. Look how it comes to a screeching halt on Babe Ruth. What we need to do here is an ease adjustment, and this gives our keyframe property a smooth motion. It just kind of slides into place. It eases in, hence the ease adjustment. We're going to use the necessary but seldom talked about cousin of the pen tool, the smooth point tool. Some apps may call it a convert point tool or a convert vertex tool. Either way, it's going to work the same. Now looking at our image in the canvas window, this is in a sense our workspace or tabletop. We have a motion path on our photo, and it's marked by a line with small gray dots and a big green one at the end. Now the little gray ones tell us the different position of the photo over time, and the big green one is our keyframe. To ease adjust this keyframe, I'm going to click on it and notice how a larger gray dot appears along the image's motion path. This is our handle that allows us to ease adjust the image's movement by moving it in and out, as well as the shape of our motion path, if we so desire. Be careful not to over-exaggerate the ease adjustments, because it can end up looking even more screwed up than a clip with no adjustments. It's real easy to put arbitrary random motion on a clip just for kicks, but don't do that, because you don't want the motion to distract your viewer from what you really want to lead and pull their eye through and show them in the image. Okay, we're going to keep this moving and go to our second technique now, which some people have coined as 2.5D. And it can be a lot of fun because it allows you to rewrite history if you want to. We're going to take the picture and separate it into its elements and animate those in three-dimensional space, creating our own scene. Let's prep our images in Adobe Photoshop by cutting out each player individually. I'll make a copy of my image and then use the Quick Mask tool to quickly paint over each player, masking them out from their background. I'm going to do this with each player, placing each on their own layer. Now I need to make a background without any players in it. I'll do this with my Clone Stamp tool, tediously going along until I've cleaned everyone out. Time to set the stage for the animation. Let's bring the Photoshop PSD file into After Effects as a composition with cropped layers. We'll make a new composition set to the length that we want for the final shot. Now let's place the background into the comp and set it as a 3D layer, following this up by placing the players in as 3D layers as well. Now I want to space the players out, placing them on the same vertical Y-axis, but spacing them out across the horizontal X-axis and at varying depths along the Z-axis. What we have here is layout that's very similar to our scene in After Effects. Notice that the players are all at the same vertical height, but they're spread out across our two horizontal axes, the X and the Z, which gives the scene its depth. Now, we're not going to actually animate any of the players or the background. Instead, we're going to add a camera in After Effects and animate its movement as it trucks across the front of the scene, revealing what we want the viewer to see. I'll use the same techniques for animating the camera that I used to animate our image before, keyframing its position and ease adjusting its movement. After Effects helps you sell the illusion by allowing you to control the camera like it's the real thing. You get to play with the depth of field, giving a nice blur to the background objects. It's a pretty sweet little trick, and you don't have to use a complex image if you don't want to. You can use a real simple one, and you can even add elements from other pictures, or you can add titles, graphics, whatever you like, if you really want to. With a little bit of time, some simple work, and a good imagination, still images can be more fun than a minor league slideshow. As for Babe Ruth, they can have him. I'll take 2004 and Fenway Frank. It's time to watch Poppy go yard.